Welcome back to another RPO College Football Podcast, your favorite college football podcast. My name is Jerome Jones, and we have the man, the Mr. Legend right there, Mr. Ray Roberts. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, Jerome. How are you?
I'm good. Before we get started, I don't know if I noticed a little change in our setup, but I want to officially announce that we are officially have our first sponsor. Yes, we are sponsored
Nice.
by Phenom. So Phenom is our newest sponsor. Phenom is a sports apparel company. They do football gloves, cleats, things like that. You guys are football players. You know about Phenom. Really good company. So shout out to Nathan for allowing him to be our first sponsor. So we're super excited about it, guys. So thank y'all so much. As you see at the top, you can use that QR code, which is our QR code, which is ICH football, to get 10% off of all Phenom items. So save you some cash, save you some cash and, help support us and, get that. So our first sponsor, Ray, but outside of that, man, how you feeling, brother?
I'm good, man. Getting ready for baseball is really heavy right now, and the Phillies are good, so that's always a good thing for me.
Right.
And I listen to football contact every day, especially for like Notre Dame and Miami. So
Yeah. This is the dead period for me. Basketball season usually keeps me afloat. The Nuggets just lost, and really, I'm not gonna say really bad fashion, but the Nuggets just lost. Ray, I'm a Nuggets fan, so
Mhm.
I've kind of been ever since they lost, which was what last Thursday. I kind of just was like, I don't care anymore. I just don't really.
That's what, Jerome. It's weird because like when we talk about, I'm a big football fan. I used to be a bigger baseball fan, but I'm still a pretty big baseball fan. I can watch any two teams play either of those sports. It doesn't matter to me. It could be any football team, even like what down to the lowest levels. Any
Yeah,
baseball team, it's fine. Basketball and hockey are the one sports where I like the Philadelphia teams. I root for them, but if they're not good, I don't care.
yeah,
The Sixers were good this year, but not good enough, like usual. And they've been out of the playoffs for like what, a little over 2 weeks now. So when that happened, I don't care.
yeah, 100%. So I usually stay in basketball, until I think you know it's not like the Nuggets or the Sixers. There's my two teams that I root for.
Mm,
They don't always be this far in the playoffs. Last year, I got lucky. I'm not gonna say lucky, but I got fortunate enough to watch my Nuggets win the championship last year. So it was a fun ride, and I got to watch that for extra, I guess another month of basketball. So this year, they got far again. Just lost in the second round, and it just kind of got it out of me because I guess last year we won it all, and this year we lost in Game 7 where the first two games wasn't that good, and then we kind of came back. So I was like, oh, okay, let's go, and they lost in the last game when it was up by 30 points at one point. So just like
I mean, pretty much when it comes to baseball and basketball, I root for the Philadelphia teams, and as long as the New York team doesn't win, I'm good. Could be the Mets, could be the Knicks, doesn't
that's how
matter. As long as they lose, I'm okay.
that's how I feel about Boston though, because Boston's in there, and I'm just like,
I am the same way with the Celtics usually, but you know what it is though? I don't have to put up with Celtics fans as much as I do New York fans.
true, very
That
true.
doesn't bother me. And like when they won that, when the Knicks blew out the team, won the one game, and Stephen A. Smith is okay, Stephen A. How you think? What you think now, brother? Come on. I hate guys that blow hard. Like, dude, wait till the series is over, and then if you want to puff your chest out and tell me how good your team is, that's great. You win by 20 points. It don't matter if you only got to win by one. So if you win by 20, it means no more than if you won by one. You won a game.
Yeah, I win so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. All right, let's get to it, guys. So we wasn't here last week. We had to take a little hiatus. Praise out to Ray's family and everything that goes good with that. but we will definitely keep you in mind, sir. But let's get back into the draft. We were last talking about the draft. We gave day 1 and day 2. Now we're gonna get into day 3. So put this up here, and we're not gonna go too deep into every single pick because we want to have you guys here all night. But we're gonna quickly run through the names, the picks, and then if you can take a player or two, and just kind of talk about like the pick, and I'll do the same. Okay. So we're gonna do 1 through 9 right now. So the first one was Makai Corley going to the Jets. Trey Benson going to the Cardinals. Brandon Coleman going to the Commanders. Keaton Wallace, going to the Patriots. Junior Colson goes to the Colts. Andrew Phillips going to the Giants. Isaiah Adams going to the Cardinals. So they got 2 picks in the first 9. The Panthers getting Trayvon Wallace, and the Cowboys getting Cooper Beebe. So any 2 guys you want to kind of highlight right there, Ray?
I like Cooper Beebe. He's probably the one guy in of all of them guys that I really like the best. So
yeah, I wasn't expecting him to go to the 3rd round. I thought he could have been a mid-second round pick. So him going there, especially with the Cowboys needing a guard, I thought that was a good pick. The number 1 pick right there, Makai Corley, I think that was a really good pick right there as well. Being able to get a additional wide receiver that can definitely complement Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson was pretty much a one-man show last year. I had him in my fantasy, and it sucked. I mean, it didn't help that the quarterback play wasn't that great. But if you're the only guy, that they really keying on being the former rookie of the year, and then people are gonna start keying in on him, quarterback play wasn't that great. So it was hard. It was very hard pickings for him. I thought he was going to have a great year because Aaron Rodgers was there. He went down. What's your thoughts on that, Ray?
I'm a big Corley fan. I don't like that he went to the Jets, obviously, because I feel the same way about them as I do as most other New York teams. But it's a good pick. I actually like the Trey Benson pick, too, from Arizona because I thought he was the number 1 back in the draft. And you know what? Good for them because he went exactly where I thought he should go, and the 2nd, early 3rd. So good for them. And I like Brandon Coleman too from TCU, that Washington guy. I like him. They're probably like I said, BB were guys that I really like the most. Braylon Trice from Washington, I liked it out from Alabama talk.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Junior Colson going to the Chargers? Because he's a hardball guy going to the Chargers, going for Michigan. Here in the 3rd round, you think that was kind of a reach for him, or you think hey, get your guy kind of thing?
No, I think we talked about this a little bit last time, Jerome. I think that honestly, he's a good pick for him because again, he's going to know what his defense is going to be, and he's going to be the team captain already. So I think. Again, did I look at him as a late 3rd, early 4th? I kind of did, but again, I don't know where their picks are after this, and I think Harbaugh is looking for guys that he could trust. And
I like you. If you're gonna draft a guy and you want to get a guy, Julian Colson was a star, captain for that team. He's a huge part of that team, and I think he was one of the first few Michigan players to say they was leaving, and I've seen Michigan players start following suit and after he committed to the draft. So I think he's a good piece. I do worry about his production because he'll attack you, but his stat line was not pretty. He barely got sacks. He barely got forced fumbles. He barely got interceptions. I don't even think he got a for interception actually. So he won't wow you with the I guess turnover kind of wild plays, but you getting a guy that's going to be very efficient in tackling and make sure that the running game is not taking over. He's the guy. So,
Well, he's a great tackler. And again, he's rangy. He's very young, too. I think he's only like 20 or 21. So there's a lot of upside with him. Again, you got a guy who's going to know your defense, going to come in and spew what you want him to spew. He knows that already.
100%. All right, let's get to our next group of guys. We got Braylon Trice going to the Falcons. Kyron and Mig DJ. Okay. Jonah Ellis going to the Broncos. DJ Glaze going to the Raiders. You got Kalen Bullock going to the Texans. Matt Goncalves, I think that's his name, going to the Colts. Jermaine Burton going to the Bengals. Christian Haynes going to the Seahawks. And Tip Redmond going to the Cardinals. So anybody want to highlight there, Ray?
I like the Haynes pick. Again, I thought he was one of the better guards in the draft. And again, they waited and got him right where I thought he should have been drafted. So I think that's a good pick. I like Cooper Beebe. I didn't think he – usually Dallas linemen are more physical than he is. That's the only thing. Like, he's more of a technician type guy, which is fine, though. And really, that's the better of those guys. I like Jonah Ellis a little bit from Utah.
Yeah, I like Braden Trice as the edge rusher for the Falcons. They really need the edge rusher. I think this was a good pick right here. He's a guy that he's gonna give you motor. He's gonna be high motor guy. He's gonna go out there, go. I think he needs to learn how to get a couple more pass rush moves. And he's not gonna be the fastest guy, but he's very strong. So if you get him to train him up a little bit, he could be a good player. And then the next guy I wanted to talk about was Jermaine Burton, a good replacement for not T. Higgins, sorry. Not T. Higgins, but Tyler Boyd. There you go. A good replacement for Tyler Boyd. I think he can really fill that hole they have as a third receiver.
Not to get into too much NFL stuff, but T. Higgins is not signed his he signed nothing yet, and it looks like he's willing to maybe, if not sit out the year, sit out all of training camp until he gets a new contract.
Yeah. So, you're talking about T. Higgins. Yeah.
So that Jermaine Burton pick maybe becomes a lot more valuable right now. So
very true. Yes, very true. All right, let's get to our next group. We got Blake Corum going to the Rams. We got Roman Wilson going to the Steelers. Zach Venter going to the Browns. So as you see, you got three Michigan guys right there, and I'll be talking about that. We got Dominic Cooney going to the 49ers. I might feel like we did this already. Okay.
What's that?
Yeah, we did this already, right?
We did the third round. We did.
All right. Wow, I was going through that the whole time, and you didn't say nothing to me, sir?
I said I thought I went through these guys.
You did?
Yeah, I know we did Zach Zinter because I remember you falling in love with him.
I did. Listen, it's been almost 2 weeks now, okay?
It's been mostly on my part. It's been a hectic 2 weeks, man.
We did this already. What's going on? All right, so that was a little flashback for you guys.
It's been 2 weeks. We had to remind them. That's all.
There you go. Just a little reminder. Just a little teaser. All right, let's get to our fourth round.
If you remember when we ended the show, I said how much I liked the fourth round.
Yeah, I remember that. All right, Javonte Sanders going to the Panthers. Franklin going to the Broncos. You got Layden Robinson going to the Patriots. You got Dorian Taylor Emerson going to the Cardinals. You got Justin Oboiji going to the Chargers. Cedric Gray going to the Titans. Theo Johnson going to the Giants. And Kyrie Jackson going to the Vikings, which is funny. The last 3 picks we interviewed. So, what's your thoughts on these guys right here?
I love the Sanders pick. I like the Troy Franklin pick. I like the Adrian Taylor pick. Cedric Gray, I'm a big fan of.
Me too.
I like Kyrie Jackson from Oregon too. I think they're all good picks. Javon Baker. I thought the Patriots did some weird things, but they had some nice picks, and I like the Javon Baker pick. I think that's a good pick for them. So
yeah, 100%. Yeah, Kyrie Jackson, long, speedy guy. I think he needs to work on his physicality a little bit, but he's a guy that you can work. If you can work on him a little bit, he can be a really good player. If not a solid player. You got Cedric Gray, another guy that we interviewed. One of my favorite linebackers in his draft outside of the top 3 guys. I have a feeling that he's going to be one of those guys, kind of like the linebacker from the Vikings last year, which his name is escaping me. Who was the rookie? Oh, Ian Pace. There you go.
Yeah.
Give me very much Ian Pace kind of vibes where he's gonna kind of pop out of nowhere and everybody's gonna be like, "Yo, this linebacker's good." Like he's one of those guys. I think he can really do some really good stuff early on his career. Troy Franklin. I wasn't expecting him to drop this far into the 4th round. Now, granted, it's the beginning of the 4th round, but at one point of the draft, they had him going 1st round. Ray.
I remember that early on. Yeah. He was considered a late 1st or early 2nd round pick.
Correct.
Again, because of the volume of wide receivers, man. You know.
Correct. 100%. So that's definitely going to be one of those things. I'm very curious to see what he does with the Broncos. I think that's a really good fit for him. So it's going to be fun to see. All right, let's get to our next group. We got Brandon Dorless going to the Falcons. We got Javon Baker going to the Patriots. Ian Williams going to the Packers.
Camryn Richard.
Thank you. The Camryn? Okay. Camryn Richard going to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Devontae Walker going to the Ravens. Javon Foster going to the Jaguars. Eric All going to the Bengals. The Inside the Hatches interviewee. And Jordan Jefferson going to the Jags. Anybody want to highlight there, right?
I'm sorry, Jerome. I like the Richard pick. Like I said before, I kind of jumped ahead. I like the Javon Baker pick. I thought that was a nice pick. Mm-hmm. It's funny. I liked Eric All a little bit. So to get him in the 4th round, I think it was a solid pick there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's really the best ones.
Yeah. So let me tell you about Eric All. Eric All is a guy that we covered. He used to play for Michigan. Very talented kid. Was riddled with injuries. I mean, I think the first year he played, freshman year, he didn't play at all. His 2nd year after that, he was kind of still gaining the trust of the Michigan, coaching staff. Also, Michigan been doing really well with their tight ends the last couple of years as well. So, a couple of guys that's in the NFL right now are Michigan guys. So they've been doing really well with their tight ends lately, so he kind of get buried in the depth chart a little bit. When it was his year to start, had a solid year. Early on he had drop issues, and then he got injured. And then right after he got injured, he transferred to Iowa and wound up getting injured again in his last year. So very talented tight end. Most people are gonna be like, who's Eric All kind of deal, because the production not really there, but if you're looking at his upside and what he can do, and if he can, get back from the injuries, because I don't believe the only major injury he had was the 2022 season, which is the last year in Michigan. That was his worst injury that he had, but he's been fairly injury free, and just had some nagging injuries after that. So very talented, really, really good backstory, right? You can look into his backstory, or listeners, if you look into his backstory, really good backstory. I'm gonna go too deep into it, but
Yeah.
keep looking at his backstory, really good. Devontae Walker is a guy that was seen at the Senior Bowl, really fast, quick guy. Can get in and out of his breaks really well. The only concern I have with him, and I think that's why he drops so much, was his drops. He had some drops on him.
Oh,
So
he's with the
yeah,
perfect quarterback then.
yeah, he's essentially Hollywood Brown. So Javon Baker is a really good wide receiver as well. So I think I do like what you said. I do like what the Patriots did.
I do. I think they had some interesting picks. I know there are some people that hate the quarterback. There,
Yeah,
like I talked to some people that really hate him. My feeling, not to get back to the first round, my feeling was they had to take a quarterback, man. The fans would have went crazy if they didn't.
oh yeah, that. I agree. I agree. All right, let's get to our next group. We got Taylor Bortolini. I hope I said that. Bortolini. We got Tariq Knight going to the Seahawks. We got Mason McCormick going to the Steelers. Jalen Wright going to the Dolphins. AJ Burner going to the Seahawks. Speaking about Michigan tight ends. Torrey Taylor going to the Bears. Cade Stover going to the Titans. Texans. And then Malik Mahafia going to the 49ers. What you like about that group right there, Ray?
I love the McCormick pick. I think the Steelers had a very good draft, especially addressing their offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
I get back. I like the Jalen Wright pick. I'm gonna get back to that one though. I like AJ Burner. You know, Burner. I know you do. I think he's a good. If you have him as your second tight end, guy that can do a little bit of everything and help you out, I think he's a good player. I like Bucky Irvin. I think he's a good, solid running back. To get him in the fourth round, I think is a pretty good pick. There's guys at the end. Jaden Hicks from Washington State. The Chiefs just seem to find defensive players every year. They kind of help them out. And I like Jacob Cowing, the wide receiver going to the 49ers. The 49ers are another team. They seem to find wide receivers, in every draft. We get back to the Jalen Wright pick. I like Jalen Wright. I liked him in Miami's backfield. I don't like the fact that I traded a third round pick to move up to get a running back, though.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, you guys got abundance of running backs. I get it, and that's kind of how y'all like to do it. But yeah,
I get the pick. I do. I would have waited to see if he was going to be there when my pick was going to come up before I moved up to take him there.
100%. Ray, I think
he would have been going before the fourth round, though.
Yeah, I think you would jump the gun on a couple of picks too, right? But yeah, I agree with all the picks you said. Trace Knight, I think, is a player that can be a really good player, especially for the Seahawks. I think it was a really good pick for their defense. The little head scratcher I had was Troy Taylor. Good punter. Don't get me wrong, but a little early for a fourth round pick. To be honest, Malik Mustafa. For the 49ers, really good pick. I hate the fact that they got him, but I think he's a really good pick right there. He's going to be a good developer guy. Let's get to our next couple of picks. Bucky Irving going to the Buccaneers. We got Giovanni Manu going to the Lions. Will Shipley going to the Eagles. Ray Davis going to the Bills. Inside the interviewee. Isaac Guerrero going to the 49ers. TJ Tampa going to the Ravens. Jared Wiley going to the Chiefs, and Talon Tabasky going to the Lions. In another Inside the Hatches interviewee. What do you think about this part of the list, right?
I'm a Vaki fan. I understand why not everybody loved the pick because he is a little bit limited in coverage, but I'm a fan of him as a player.
Well,
I like the Jared Wiley pick too, though. I thought it was I've really kind of just glazed over that. I think he's a guy that could give him some interesting 12 personnel with Kelsey. So
definitely. Before you get too far on the Sloan Sabaki pick, they actually have him listed as a running back, right? So he did a little bit of that at Utah. He did a lot more of it in college. I'm sorry, high school. But they listed him as a running back when they drafted him. So
okay.
interesting.
Yeah, if you can use him as a part-time player on both sides of the ball, just adds more value to him. That's fine.
Yeah, definitely. I like the run of running backs in this little group right here. Bucky Irving going to the Buccaneers. I think it's ironic that Bucky Buccaneers, but really good player for Oregon. I really like him a lot. Will Shipley is a good backup piece. He actually fits what the Eagles kind of do right there at that point, so I really like that. Ray Davis at Inside the Hashes interviewee, physical back, got some wiggles to him as well, so really like him there. The pick that got me the most out of this was TJ Tampa. Saban was raising out in draft talk, getting closer to the draft. I was actually surprised he got this far, but such a value pick, obviously with the Ravens. We talk about this all the time. The Ravens, I have no idea how they get through these drafts, but it's insane. They always picking really well with their picks there. So it's do wish that, man. I don't know what's going on with the Ravens, but they always pick them well. All right, Ray left us real quick, but I'm going to go through the last three real quick. Jalen Hicks, DB, DB going to the Chiefs. We got Brilliant Allen going to the Jets, and then Jacob Cronin going to the 49ers. So we got Ray back. What's your thoughts on the last three real quick?
I like all three of them picks, man. I like Hicks. I like Brilliant Allen. I think that going to the Jets gives them a nice combination of speed and power with the two running backs. And I like Jacob Cowling. I think I said the head of the last group, guys. I just think that the 49ers seem to find guys that kind of fit their offense. And I think he fits their offense. So,
no, I agree. I think they're really good picks, Ray. I agree with everything you're saying. Crowder going to the 49ers is kind of abundance of picks, but you already talked about that, man. This is a deep wide receiver class, man. So don't be surprised if fourth, fifth round guys, kind of emerge because it's a good group. Definitely a good group. All right, I'm going to the fifth round, the top of the fifth round. The first pick is Nehemiah Pickett going to the Seahawks. You got Tarbib Stills going to the Chargers. Xavier Thomas going to the Cardinals. Jordan McGee going to the Commanders. Cam Hart going to the Chargers. You got Cedric Van Garner. I don't even remember his last name being like that. Going to the Bills. You got Anthony Gold going to the Colts. J.D. Burton going to the Falcons, and Austin Booker going to the Bears. Anybody stands out right there, Ray?
I mean, of course, I like Bertrand. I'm not. He's a limited linebacker, though. He's not anything special. But I mean, talk about fifth round. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I like Cedric Van Pran, the offensive line that went to the Bills. I'm a Cam Hart fan. The Chargers I think Cam Hart falling to the fifth round is a travesty, to be honest with you. But it is what it is, man. So, again, a deep corner class, so this kind of stuff happens. Yeah, I love Jordan McGee, the linebacker from Temple. They're the guys that I really like in this draft. They're the guys, when I say they were guys that when I looked, I kind of gave them an A minus for their pick. So,
Yeah, Cedric Van Britain. I didn't realize he's gonna be going that far down. I mean, deep lineman class as well. So it does make sense, and he is a center. So usually you get your centers around like the third, fourth, fifth round. And it can still be really good and real productive. So he could definitely be one that's there and playing really good for the Bills right there. I like that pick. Nehemiah Pickens is a really good pick for me as well. Going to the Seahawks. Seahawks just seem like they got an abundance of corners at this point. Which, hey, passing lead, you want to shut down these offenses. You gotta have a lot of corners. So, seem like they're going with that approach right now with that. So, I like it. All right, let's get to our next few picks. Another Inside the Hatches interviewee and Chris Abrams-Drain. So yeah, I told you how much I liked him before. He's going to the Broncos. None other really good corner to learn from than Patrick Surtain. So that's a good one. Little bit of corner run right here. We got Jarvis Brown Lee Jr. going to the Titans. We got Audric Ostame. I think I got it right now.
Estime.
Estime? Oh, okay.
Estime. Audric Estime.
Estime going to the Broncos. Tommy Etchenberg going to the Raiders. We got Josh Newton going to the Bengals. Spencer Rattler, Inside the Hashes interviewee, going to the Saints. Jalen Carlisle going to the Colts. And we got Edenias Smith going to the Eagles. I had to remember how to say his name. He actually comes to you right there, right?
I like the Aeneas Smith. I think that's a great pick for the Eagles. Spencer Rattler. I mean, for 5th round, that's very good value. I mean, I can't see Spencer Rattler not being a solid backup. I just can't see that. I can't see a world where he's not a good solid backup, dude. I can't. I like Tommy Eichenberg, the linebacker from Ohio State. I think he is a 2-down linebacker, but a guy that can play some special teams for you in the 5th round. Tough kid. Audric Estime in the 5th round. That's crazy, man. I mean, I know he's not fast, but once he gets to that second level, linebackers don't want to tackle him, man. I don't understand how he fell to the 5th round, but hey, stuff happens, and I love the Chris Abrams-Drain. I think that's probably the best pick maybe in this round, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Chris Abrams-Drain going there. Like I said before, one of my favorite corners in this draft, man. I seen him at the Senior Bowl. Shut down what's his name? Lav McConkey. And one-on-one drills, man, he looked good to me. I think a lot of people are looking at his side. It's funny how back then he was the perfect type of corner, and now we're looking for long, lengthy corners. He's a smaller guy, so I think that kind of played a part in it. Jarvis Brown Lee Jr., another Senior Bowl guy. He's the opposite of Chris Abrams-Drain. Long, big guy, lengthy. I think he has a place in this league for sure. If not a 3rd or 4th corner. You already know how I feel about Estime, right? Huge on him. One of my favorite running backs in this draft. Obviously, my favorite is the Michigan man, Blake Corum. But Audric was definitely a huge second for me. I absolutely love the Spencer Rattler pick. And here's why. You have a starter who's a fringe starter. He's a starter on a lot of teams in the NFL, but you have
let's face it, Derek Carr went from being a top 10 quarterback, now he's in the second half of the top 20. It is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. So you have a guy where he could regress. And by the time he does regress, you got a guy that can possibly challenge him for it. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to be a starter or he's going to be a great starter in the league, but you got a guy in there in the 5th round that you can challenge your starter at some point. It's not going to happen this year, and it might not even happen next year. And I don't know Derek Carr's contract, but you got a guy that at least you have in there, and you can look at him behind the scenes and be able to be like, you know what? Mr. Rattler might have starter potential. So I think that was a great pick. Aiden Smith, I think he's a really good fit in the Eagles offense. And I really do hope that he takes that 3rd wide receiver range. I don't know if you heard, but Devontae Parker actually just retired. So he has a chance.
Well, I thought he did that 3 years ago, to be honest with you, but okay.
I'm dead. That was funny, Ray. That was funny. All right, let's get to our next couple of picks. We got the entree, Prince going to the Jaguars. You got Brandon Jackson going to the Rams. Jeremiah Pryor Jr. going to the Eagles. Jamari Thrash going to the Browns. You got Shoe Smith Wade going to the Panthers. Muhammad Nakamura going to the Dolphins. You got Hunter Nuraz.
Noorzad
Going to the Chiefs. And you're going to have to take over this one, right?
It's Juan Alofonso.
There you go. Going to the Bills. All right, what do you think about this group, Ray?
I like Afonso. I think that's a good pick for Buffalo. I like Muhammad Kamara, the kid that the Miami drafted out of Colorado State. He's a little like short arm edge rusher, but 16 sacks is 16 sacks, man. No matter what level you're playing on him. So I like him a lot. I like the Jamari Thrash pick as a value pick, a wide receiver who really I had like a third or fourth round grade on. And again, he fell. I like the Trotter pick. I think he'll come in and play on first and second down for the Eagles, and it's a great story. So you know,
100%. Yeah, I agree with you. I think he's gonna have to really prove himself and really get out there. I know the fans are super hype about it. I get it. Charter's son, and rightfully so. I don't think he's going to be an immediate starter. I think he can contribute. You got Devin White, and you still have like his name, the Georgia N'Kobe Dean. Sorry, you got N'Kobe Dean there. So I think both of them are really good starters on the team. Dean obviously having injury issues, so we'll see how that goes. I still have faith in his ability though, but he's got a long way to kind of go. So I just hope that fans don't get too anxious with him not being on the field, because I just don't think he's going to be on the field right away. But he's a good solid guy that can, maybe eventually get to that point. But I do like him. Chu Wei is a good corner. See him at the Senior Bowl. Smaller guy, but have a lot of good ball skills. So I like that pick right there. And Brendan Jackson, good edge rusher right there. I think the Rams, they really go with their defensive line those last couple of years, especially the fact that they just lost Aaron Donald. So that's definitely going to help them out right there for sure. Yeah. All right, let's get to a couple of guys. Oh, you want to say something?
No, I agree. I agree.
Definitely. All right, let's get to our next couple of guys. Dominic Hampton going to the Commanders. Christian Jones going to the Cardinals. We got Jacob Monk going to the Packers. Jalen Simpson going to the Colts. Rashid Ali going to the Ravens. Tyrone Tracy Jr. going to the Giants. Colin Robinson going to the Jaguars. And Javon Holloman, an Inside the Patches interviewee, going to the Bills. What's your thoughts on that?
I love the Solomon pick. I hate that he went to the Bills, but I love the Solomon pick. I think the Tyrone Tracy pick is interesting, and the Giants need some running back help. And I think he's a guy that can go in there and do some stuff for you. I like Jalen Simpson from Auburn, the safety. I think he's a nice physical kid who again is more of a pesky guy in coverage than he is a cover guy, but he seems to be around the ball a good bit. So, and I like the Christian Jones for the offensive tackle from Texas a lot, actually.
Definitely. Yeah, sneaky good pick. And again, I just got done saying this when you went up to the bathroom, Ray, but the Ravens, man, they always do it. And Rashid Ali, bro, like, we got to interview him. I forgot to say that. Did we get to interview him at the Senior Bowl? But he's a sleeper guy. And I think not the only reason, but there's a reason why he gets so One because he went to Marshall. Like nobody's really recruiting Marshall like that. But he got injured at the Senior Bowl, right? And before he got injured, and even before that, because I know about Rasheen, but before when he was at the Senior Bowl, before he got injured, he was looking he was looking like one of the best running backs there, and that's saying a lot because the running back group was pretty good at the Senior Bowl. He looked like the best one there, and he got injured like practice 2 or something like that. So he wasn't able to continue, but he looked very impressive. I got an eye on him. Jalen Simpson's another solid guy. He's going to be a good special teamer for you guys with the Colts. And yeah, Christian Jones, another one. Solid lineman, could do some swing tackle kind of situation there, and with the Cardinals. So, all right, let's get to our next couple of picks. Keaton Oladope going to the Packers. We got Bud Means going to the Saints. Jordan Travis going to the Jets. Charter Keegan going to the Eagles. Isaiah Thomas going to the Jets. Isn't it the Jets drafted 3 running backs? Or was it just they drafted 3 running backs?
They at least 2 of them, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's crazy. Kalen Carson going to the Cowboys. Jalen Ford going to the Saints. And Quintez Stangers going to the Jets. What do you think about that group, Ray?
I like most of them guys. I like the Jordan Travis pick.
Yeah.
That was a nice pick for the Jets. They got a quarterback with some upsides. It at least has backup potential, if nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's not a guy for them down the road, they'll move on from him. It's not a big deal. I like the Kalen Carson pick, the cornerback from Wake Forest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't. This is where at the end of this round, I didn't see as many good players as I thought. I like Jalen. Did we get this? The Saints, Jalen Ford.
Jalen Ford.
No, you didn't get him yet, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, I didn't. Okay,
It's on the street if you want to say it.
No, I like the Jalen Ford pick. I thought he was more of a 4th round linebacker. Again, he's a guy who was a good solid tackler who doesn't make a lot of plays in the pass game often. So,
100%. Yeah, I agree with that, Ray. Trevin Keegan, I think it was a good pick for the Eagles. Solid guard right there. Obviously, I'm real high on Jeff Stoutland, so I think he can really put him into place, and maybe he might have some starter potential down the line. I really do like that pick. Keelan Carson, as much as I hate him going to the Cowboys, I think that was a really good pick right there. Jordan Travis, great pick. Coming off an injury, a really good season for his injury. I don't think he's going to be a top quarterback at that point anyway. But to be in the building with Aaron Rodgers, you get to learn a little bit from him. I think this kid's gonna work his tail off, and I think he's gonna have a chance to, at least a look once Aaron Rodgers' time is over. At least a look, I think.
I think the nice thing for him is he has 2 years of Aaron Rodgers to sit behind, and then no one's going to expect anything of him.
Correct.
So he's good, man. Just sit there and watch the guy learn. And it also gives the Jets enough of a sample size where they should be able to say, yeah, this guy has star potential, or maybe he's only going to be a backup,
Right. Quintez Stinger is another one, Ray. I don't know if you heard about his story, but basically he played college football, was a really good corner, had to stop playing because of family situation. He had to take care of his family. Wanted to come back, start playing in the controlled football league that they had at one point, which that league had TO in it. So he played in there, and then he wound up getting signed by it was USL or USFL, wherever one it was. Played for them. Tried to just sign in the NFL. They made him go through the draft process, which it was kind of odd. But I heard a lot of good things about him. So interesting to see what he does in the league for sure.
The pick is intriguing, but again, I don't have enough of sample size. I've not seen him play enough to really give a
Correct.
great evaluation of him.
No, 100%. I agree. All right, let's get to our next round. Round 6. We got Walter Rouse going to the Vikings. Logan Lee going to the Steelers. We got Siatoa Lumina going to the Seahawks. These names are horrible. I mean, names are not horrible. It's just hard for me to say it. I'm sorry. I ain't gonna say your name.
Them Polynesian names are tough, dude.
They're tough, and especially with you got 3 vowels right next to each other, man. Come on, why are you doing this to me? Anyway, Marcelia Dowles Jr. going to the Patriots. We got Kimali Fatal, sorry, going to the Chargers. We got Jaquan Jackson going to the Titans. Darius Musamu going to the Giants. Malik Washington. Sorry, I don't know what I was going to say. Going to the Dolphins, and then Johnny Wilson going to the Eagles. So what do you think about that group, Ray?
I like a lot of those picks. I like the I'm not going to try to even say the first name. Lomeo, the offensive lineman from Utah. Love that kid. That's probably one of my favorite picks. I had him going late 3rd round, to be honest with you. Kid's a mauler, man. I really like him. You put him in the right offense, I think he's going to be a really good player for you. And my favorite pick, and I'm not – is it because it's partly because it's Miami? Of course. It was partly because I love Malik Washington. I love him, man. I think he's going to be great in Miami's offense. I think you put him on the field on special teams or as a slot receiver inside of Jalen Waddle or Tyreek Hill or whoever else we have on the team, Odell Beckham. It's be like, I love the pick. I just love the pick, and I love the fact that I thought he was a 4th round player. I thought there was no way Malik Washington was going to get out of the 4th round, but I got him in the 5th round, so I'll take it. And I like the Johnny Wilson pick to Florida State. I think you may know more. Are they going to use him as a tight end?
You're gonna have him as a receiver.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was going to talk about that because that's intriguing to me. There was a lot of buzz about him being a tight end in the NFL. I think they're at a point where they're going to try to see what he can do at receiver first, and then, if they have to, move him to tight end. I think he's a better case scenario type of JJ Whiteside, where he played receiver. The Eagles wanted to see what he did at receiver. JJ actually wound up becoming a tight end. Now the issue with JJ was he was one of our top picks, which I think he was a 2nd round pick or something like that when we did pick him. So that was the issue with him having a private guy like that. Now you get a Johnny Wilson, similar kind of guy. You can test him out. Don't have to worry about, hey, we drafted him way too high and try to do that. I think with project guys, you kind of have to do that. You can't get a project guy at that caliber where he's a tweener and not really sure where he's going to be at a position. You got to do that later on in the draft, not early in the draft. So I think the Eagles kind of understood that, and I think Johnny Wilson has a good chance to be a contributor on the team. So I like it.
I think is a red zone target, if nothing else. I mean, 6'7". I mean, how can you go wrong?
100%. Yeah. Kamani Vidal is a good pick for the Chargers. They get another running back. They're kind of light at running back. They get a smaller guy, shifty guy, hides behind the offensive line. I really do like him. He played at the Senior Bowl, so another one that I like right there. Let's move along to our next couple picks. So the Atlanta Falcons got a running back in Jason McClellan. There you go. McClellan.
Yep.
Casey Washington going to the Falcons. So back-to-back picks for the Falcons. Jamal Hill going to the Texans. Makai Wingo going to the Lions. Dylan McMahon going to the Eagles. Tejon Palmer going to the Cardinals. James, a inside patches interviewee, going to the Seahawks. Joe Milton go to the Patriots, and Tanner McLaughlin going to the Bengals. What do you think about this one, Ray?
I like the Wango pick, the defensive line. I like that a lot. I like the DJ James pick from corner from Auburn. Seattle had a really nice draft this year. They really did their homework, and they really bounced back from not having a great draft the last couple of years, but they had a really nice one this year. I like Tanner McLaughlin a little bit, the tight end from Arizona. I think the Bengals needed added a tight end to their group. I think it's a good player. Tyler Davis, a defensive lineman from Clemson, is probably one of my favorite picks in this round. I think he's a really good football player, and you got a kid who's a little undersized that I think he's going to be a really nice player for the Rams. Yeah, and Christian Boyd from Northern Iowa, defensive lineman, went to the Saints. They're probably the picks in this round that I really like a lot. So,
yeah, I agree. Quick question on Joe Milton. Now, it's not often that you draft two quarterbacks in the in the same draft. Last time I remember this, and I could be completely wrong with it, but last time I remember this was the RG3 Kirk Cousins situation. Do you think there's a chance something like that happens where, and not saying that what's the UNC quarterback name? But their first round quarterback. Do you think there's a chance that Joe Milton kind of eases his way into the starting lineup or become a starter at some point, or kind of like a Kirk Cousins, or not?
I don't think that's the case. I don't think they drafted him with the idea that he could overtake Drake May. I think they drafted him with the idea that he can be a wildcat type player. Maybe, honestly, if I had Joe Milton, I'd turn him into a tight end. I don't think he's an NFL quarterback, but that's just me.
I agree.
I think as an athlete, though, as a kid that you could use, again, wildcat role, maybe play in 12 personnel and a receiving tight end, I'm intrigued with his athleticism. His accuracy is just not there, man.
I agree. All right, let's get to the next couple of picks. We got Ryan Watt going to the Steelers. We got Tyler Davis going to the Rams. Zion Legu going to the Falcons. We got Patrick Morris going to the Dolphins. I don't know why I can't say Dolphins today. Christian Boyd going to the Saints. Jaden Crumpley going to the Panthers. Micaiah Abrams going to the Colts, and Travis Glover going to the Packers. So, Ray, I'm not gonna lie, this group, I don't know much about this group here.
I'm not a big fan of.
Go ahead, Ray. I'm not saying Christian Boyd, one I might know, but outside of that, I don't think I know anybody else. Okay.
I'm not a big fan of this round, of this group of players. I do like Tyler Davis. I guess I kind of jumped ahead before. I do like Tyler Davis. I like Ryan Watts a little bit, the corner from Texas. Mm-hmm. He's a big physical guy with long arms. I may think he'd try to make him into a safety, but I like him. I again jumped ahead. I like Christian Boyd, the defensive lineman from Northern Iowa. And Travis Glover, the offensive lineman from Georgia State, not going to start for you.
He's a guy I didn't know, actually.
He's the guy who intrigues me.
Yeah, very intriguing. Big dude. All right, let's get to our next couple of picks. Will Richard going to the Vikings as a kicker. Tyler Gramble going to the Bills. Gerhard Jordan going to the Texans. You got Nathaniel Watson, going to the Browns. You got Michael Jarrell going to the Seahawks. Dylan Labby going to the Raiders. Joshua Carsley going to the Rams, and Christian Mahogany going to the Lions.
I like the Mahogany pick.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Dylan Lau pick. I think that Dylan Lau was a guy who could wind up being one of the best all-purpose backs that you'll see in a long time, and he's going to excel in special teams. I like the Mike Jarrell again with. I think the Seahawks had a good draft. I like the.
Where is Fondley? Where is that? What school is that?
Finley. You know what, Jerome? I don't know that. I think it's somewhere.
Overseas player?
What's that?
Is that overseas player? Like
It is an overseas player.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Wow. Cool. That's cool. Will Wycherley going. These kickers are going in here and a little early, but they're good kickers. Don't get me wrong. Both were really good kickers. So I can't fault that. And I don't hate kickers after the 6th round. I'm okay with them. Once you start the 6th round, you don't have a player there that you see, and there's a really good kicker that you can bring in and either challenge the guy that you have there, or you don't have a kicker at the moment. I'm okay with it. So kickers, you got three special teamers off the board at this point already. So it's interesting. All right, let's get to our next group. We got Kamal Hayden going to the Chiefs. We got Cam Little, another kicker, going to the Jags. Jordan Whittington going to the Rams. Cedric Johnson going to the Bengals. Jared Kingston going to the 49ers. Ryan Fournette going to the Cowboys. Bo Limmer going to the Rams. And Devin Leary going to the Ravens.
I like the Devin Leary pick. I think he's has upside as a backup potential. I love Bo Limmer. I think that's a great pick, getting him in the 5th round.
Correct.
Ryan Fournette, good solid pick. This is a nice round, really. Cedric Johnson from Ole Miss, solid edge player. I like him. Kamal Hayden from corner from Tennessee. Again, I think good value for where you're getting him from. I never draft. I don't draft special team players. That's all there is to
it. Yeah. I understand that. I feel like you can't find.
You know what? And you know why I don't do it, Jerome? Christian Mahogany, Camille Hayden, Jordan Whittington, Cedric Johnson, Ryan Fournette, Bo Limmer. Why am I taking kickers when I have quality players there still?
That's true. It's a deep draft, man. Deep draft. I don't understand why you're taking.
You know what, man? I'm going to tell you how to draft a kicker. Get 5 soccer players, line them out there. Whoever kicks the longest field goal this week, that's my kicker this week. And we'll see how it goes from week to week.
Okay,
and I know kicker is one position when you don't have a good one. That's when you really value kickers.
Right.
But I'm not drafting a kicker, man. I'm just not doing it. I mean, again, I'm being a little bit sarcastic when I say lineup soccer. No, go out and find yourself a free agent kicker or a guy who's not drafted, who's going to be who you think has upside potential. If you got to hide him on your practice squad for a year or two and develop him, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't understand drafting kickers in the 5th round. If it's the 7th round and there's the best kicker there, okay, I'll go there. Okay. I'm still not crazy about it, depending on. This is not a good draft for that either, because this is a very deep draft. In the draft when it's not as deep, I understand it, but this is a very, very deep draft.
Definitely. Before we move on, I just do 2 more players, and then we're gonna go to the 7th round. Daquan Hardy and Elijah Keenan. I don't know either of those, to be honest. Ray, you got any insight on either of those guys?
I like Hardy. He's a slot corner from Penn State. I could be could be a core special teamer. Again, too good of a player to draft a kicker in front of him.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. So, interesting. All right, let's get to the 7th round. Last round of the draft. Let's run through that real quick, Ray. Whenever it loads. There we go. All right, first pick of the 7th round. You got Travis Clayton going to the Bills. Javante sorry, Javante Dean,
Baptiste.
Precious, he's going to the Commanders. We got Trey, uh, wow,
Taylor.
Trey Taylor, sorry, going to the Raiders. Jahan Anthony going to the Bengals. Uh, Brandon Wright, the guy that we actually interviewed, going to the Chargers, who's actually Ray Wright's son. So keep that in mind. Jaden Davis going to the Cardinals. Miles Harden going to the Browns, and then Nick
Samak
going to the Ravens. So Ray, out of those group, who you like?
I love Nick Samak. I love Miles Harden. I like Brendan Rice for the value of getting him in this spot.
No idea.
What's that?
I have no idea how he went in the seventh. But go ahead.
Again, volume of running of wide receivers. Again, that's why I don't take a kicker because I have a Brendan Rice and I love the John Jean Baptiste pick. I think he's a very good defensive lineman. He's a Notre Dame kid, so of course I know him pretty well. He was only a backup at Notre Dame, and I think that's what it'll be in the NFL as a situation with some kid. And I love Trey Taylor, first defensive back ever drafted out of Air Force.
Nice. Congrats to him, man. That's awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, man. I had to say the Brendan Wax one is just mind blowing. I don't know if just the being the Jerry Rice's son, the pressure of that. I had no idea, but when he was at the Senior Bowl, he was amazing. He was really good at USC. So I would have took a flyer on him on the 4th, 5th round. I really don't understand why he went to the 7th round. Like you said, there is an abundance of wide receivers in this draft, so that maybe had some effect to it. But man, I was just mind blown that he went in the 7th round, Ray. So I hope he balls up for real because.
I mean, I also love the Miles Harden pick from Cleveland out of South Dakota, and Nick Samak from Michigan State, Baltimore, man, freaking Baltimore.
It always, man. Every pick, we're just shaking our head every time I get picked. Crazy. All right, let's get to our next group. NJ Devonta Saur. Going to the Raiders, we got Michael Jurgens, not related to the other Cam Jurgens. We were stopped with that before. Going to the Vikings. Jaheim Bell going to the Patriots. Levon Drake Rodriguez going to the Vikings. Nathan Thomas going to the Cowboys. Jonah Lolo, I hope you said that name right, going to the Colts. Devon Bell, okay, going to the Broncos, and then Miles Cole going to the Jags.
I mean, they're all solid picks. I love the Nathan Thomas. Great pick for Dallas in the 7th round. Get a kid with upside you can develop into a good solid backup if nothing else. Jaheim Bell is one of my favorite players in the draft. A versatile guy. He's an H-back kid. He can do a little bit of everything for you out of your backfield. And MJ Devonshire, I think, is a good player from Pittsburgh. Long corner, has a nice frame. Would absolutely, I can see him coming and being a nickel or dime for you like pretty quickly. I think that's a good pick.
100%. No, I love the pick as well. Jaheim Bell is. I read about him before. I didn't have him in my top 5 tight ends when we talked about the tight ends. Getting him here to the Patriots, I think that's like the perfect team. Now, again, Bill Belichick's not there no more, but he's like the perfect guy that Bill Belichick would pick up. You know what I mean? Yeah. A versatile guy, you could place him anywhere, do a whole bunch of different things with him. I think, if Belichick was still there, he would love him as a player. So, Ray, if you don't mind, I have to go to the bathroom so bad. If you don't mind reading off these players, I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're fine. I'm going to just jump ahead here. I don't know if there's anybody who is that great in the last round. I do not to jump too far ahead. I love I think Kansas City has good drafts almost every year because they don't have to reach for guys. Same thing with Baltimore. They have good drafts because they don't have to reach for guys. Their core players are so good that they can just let the best player fall to them. Everybody always says best player available, best player available. But the best teams are the guys that recognize their core players and do go best player available every year. And that's why Philadelphia, Baltimore, Kansas City, Buffalo to a lesser extent, but Buffalo. Cincinnati's done a good job drafting players the last few years too. If their owner would ever decide to play anybody but the quarterback, they actually may win something in Cincinnati. I think Jerome's coming back. I can hear somebody. There you go.
What's up?
I was just talking about how certain players, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Kansas City, they could take advantage of having good core groups of players and then just take the best player available. Best player. Pittsburgh. That's why they're good. That's why they remain good. Pittsburgh hasn't had a good quarterback in 3 years and they're still winning games.
Yep. No, I agree. All right, so out of this group right here, man, Solomon Burke's a guy that we interviewed, formerly from Wisconsin. Yeah, formerly was Wisconsin, really good edge rusher. Played at USC. I think he only played 1 year at USC, so might be a reason why he's so low and get drafted because he had to adjust going to a different school. And that defense was not good. Let's just be honest, that defense was not good. But he was one of those bright spots in that defense that and I think Houston's kind of banking on how he played more at Wisconsin than USC. But yeah, he's a good solid guy. Michael Barrett, solid linebacker. I don't think he's going to be doing much in the NFL. I think he's a good core guy that maybe you can have as a backup. We'll see. Wasn't so super high on him at Michigan. He can be a liability in the pass game sometimes. So we'll see. Taj Washington was actually surprised that he lasted long. Again, deep wide receiver class. But I really like him at USC. That offense in general was just explosive, so it makes sense. But yeah, did you highlight anybody in this group, Ray?
I did not do anything drama. Again, instead of going over the players, I kind of just went over certain teams that I had good drafts again. So
Okay.
What's that?
Okay. No, go ahead.
I like Taj Washington. I think he was a good solid pick. I like Josiah Ezram from the offensive lineman from Eastern Kentucky. I think the Saints had a good solid draft. Solomon Byrd, defensive line from USC. Matt Lee, offensive lineman from Miami, are probably the guys in this core guys. I actually like the players a lot. So
correct. Agreed. All right, let's get to our next group. So Michael Pratt, a Senior Bowl quarterback, got picked by the Packers. Devin Colt going to the Buccaneers. We got Marcus Harris going to the Texans. CJ Henson going to the Chiefs. We got Ladarius Henderson. I got to interview him. One of my very few Michigan guys I got to interview at the Senior Bowl. I was happy to get him. Going to the Texans. San Uzi Kane going to the Ravens. Tanom Beltran going to going to the 49ers, and Jalen Harrell going to the Titans. So out of the group, right, who we want to highlight?
Love the Jalen Harrell pick here. Again, guy could help you out with special teams. Could develop into a starting linebacker. Love Tatum Bethune from Florida State. Nice athletic linebacker. CJ Hansen from Holy Cross. Good offensive, nice depth offensive lineman again. Kansas City can stash him away and develop and try to turn him into a good player. And I think Michael Pride has a good developmental upside as a backup quarterback. So I think that this is a good round for a lot of teams.
Yeah, yeah. I think Michael. I mean, I think every year at the Senior Bowl, there's that one underrated, small school quarterback that we kind of hope to root for. I'll say that quarterback class, at the Senior Bowl was not that good, and he kind of led the charge in that. He got a lot of snaps. He did not look that good for me. Can be a good develop backup kind of guy though, so I do like the pick. Ladarius Henderson is a big body guy, transferred to Michigan last year, got himself a ring, played very fairly well with us. I would love to see more and see him play against some big targets. I think he came from Texas Tech originally. So we'd like to see that a little bit more. Jalen Harrell, another Michigan guy. I think he's a project guy, Ray. Didn't play that much for Michigan, but has a lot of upside. So I think he can be a really good piece over there in Tennessee. All right, that's a couple of guys. Another Michigan guy, back-to-back Michigan people. Cornelius Johnson going to the Chargers. KT Livingston going to the Rams. Kalen King going to the Packers. Nick Gulolo going to the Broncos, and we got Jalen Key going to the Jets. All right, last group. Ray, who you like?
I like Jalen King, the corner from Penn State. I'm a little surprised the slot corner that didn't start most of the year went ahead of him, to be honest with you. But I like him. I like KT Livingston from Kansas State, the offensive lineman that the Rams drafted. And I like Nick Gargiulo from South Carolina, nice interior offensive lineman who's big and long, technically sound. Not a super athlete, but is kind of strong. So I think it's a good depth piece. So
definitely. Cornelius Johnson is a guy that sticks out to me. I love what the Chargers did with their how you call them flashy players, I guess.
yeah.
The receivers, running backs, they did really well with those players. I think they drafted really well. Guys that a lot of people may not know, but they got some talent. Cornelius was one of those Michigan players where, he flashed, but you didn't see a lot of him because we're such a good running team. But he might be one of those long line of Michigan receivers that played better in the NFL than in college. And me and Ray kind of talked about this a lot. I think he has that potential to look really good at the East Side Shine game as well. Actually, I think he was runner-up for MVP, actually, behind Frank Gore Jr. So, really good player right there.
I think getting him and Brandon Rice and drafting Ladd McConkey gives you a nice outside-inside depth type guys. I think what you'll see is McConkey will probably play in the slot in the start, and then you'll see who out of Johnson and Rice will be maybe a starting receiver for them. Maybe one guy's play special teams for them.
Yep. And don't forget they got Clinton Johnson from last year. So,
yes.
Yeah, I think they got a very good core receivers though.
They do need him to be better though, because he was not very good last year. So
right, 100%. But it's only 1 year freshman, rookie year. So we have to see how that goes. Keelan King, I want to highlight him because I'm actually glad they got him here. Maybe he can bounce back, but he did not look good at the Senior Bowl at all. One of the top guys that me and Sam had going down, and I came out looking like, man, this guy's not playable. I'm not gonna lie, he was getting cooked the entire game. Every time there was a big play, and you look at who was defending that receiver, it was always King. Every single time, he just really, really struggled. It didn't help that his combine wasn't good. He had a terrible combine as well. And I'm about to look up his combine numbers now. Had a really bad combine numbers. 4.6 run. It just wasn't good, right?
I do think even though he's only 5'11", that he's going to need to use his physicality because he's not a great athlete. He's more of a physical guy who likes to use his hands. So I liked him as a depth piece, maybe a special teamer. He was a starting quarterback at a pretty good university. We'll see. I mean, for the 7th round, hey, you know.
Yeah, take a flyer on him. See, if you could get what he came in looking like, give him a chance. But when he was at the Senior Bowl, I'm telling you, right, he was getting.
Man, I remember watching him in the Senior Bowl, and the same thing with the wide receiver from North Carolina that just kept dropping the ball all the time.
100%. All right, Ray. UDFAs. We're gonna go through those really, really, really quick. And I'm sure this list is not every single one.
I don't have a list of that though, Drum. You got to give me the guys and where they.
Okay. All right. I'm just gonna ramble off names that I know. Miles Murphy going to the Cardinals. So I think that's good.
That's a great spot for sure.
Austin Snagner, a guy that we interviewed for Inside the Hatches. We talked about him being at Oklahoma, playing with Rattler. Sorry. Was playing really well when he was playing with him. Once Rattler left, possession kind of went down. He's going to the Falcons. Let's see anybody else? Not on this page. Let's see. The Ravens. Let's see. Anybody sticks up to me on the Ravens? Not particularly. The Bills. They got Frank Gore Jr. So that's a very interesting pick right there, Ray.
Especially for a team that drafted a couple running backs, so that's kind of interesting for sure.
Definitely. All right. That's a highlight there. The Panthers got Jake Plummer. Ray, you know about Plummer?
Yeah.
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 Sam Pinkney from Coastal Carolina, they got him as well. I like him. Solid receiver out there. Again, we knew some of these receivers on the slide. Willie Drew, they got Willie Drew as well, Ray. So they got a couple of pretty good names out there. In there, the Bears got Austin Reed, quarterback from West Kentucky. I think that's about it that I have there. The Bengals, let's see. Bengals got Noah Kane from LSU, who's really good when he played at IMG Academy. Transfer didn't really have a lot of chance. I think he got injured when he was at Penn State as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do with him. I think that's everybody I know. Austin McNamara, punter from Texas Tech. See, this is where you get your guys, and I think that's a really.
I agree. That's what I mean. Like if I'm looking for a kicker, a punter, somebody like that, because I do think the punters are valuable, and I know again, if you don't have a good kicker, you're always looking for a good kicker. I get that, but I would go more towards, like I said, 7th round UDFAs, because I go out and sign a couple of them guys and just see who wins the competition, because that's where most kickers are found.
Yeah.
Good kickers are not usually drafted, man.
Correct. Yeah. All right. So the Browns, I don't know anybody from the Browns, but it looks like they got a lot of small school guys. So I like the fact they did that. The Cowboys got absolutely nobody. Sorry, I'm joking. I like the Devion Spain Ford tight end. Really good tight end for them there. So I like that pick. The Broncos, let's see. Frank Crum from Wyoming, good player right there. I think that's about all I know from there. You got the Lions. Let's see.
I'm going to be honest with you, Drum. The only team I know all the undrafted is Miami. I know all the Miami's undrafted free agents, but I don't know everybody else's. I don't.
100%. I agree. I'll let you talk about that, Ray. The Packers getting Trente Jones, tackle from Michigan, solid guy. It's okay.
Nice move.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty nice there. As far as Texans, don't nobody.
Yeah, I saw a set one time where 18% of all of the whole NFL is undrafted free agents.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's a big number.
Bigger than you would think.
The Colts brought in two quarterbacks. One of the two quarterbacks was Keaton Slovis, a guy that we thought is going to be drafted in the first round at one point in our lives.
You know what, Drum? I'm still surprised he wasn't drafted in the 7th round. Just because when you see the success of Brock Purdy, their careers are very parallel, man.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
The only difference is Slovis moved around a little more. Purdy did stay at Iowa State.
A little more.
Yeah, Slovis moves around too much. That in hindsight probably hurt him more than it helped him, dude.
I agree.
He would have been better off being a good backup at USC than moving all around like he did, to be honest with you.
I agree. We got the Jags. Let's see. Nobody I see so far there. Josh Proctor, and the safety from Ohio State. You actually interviewed him at the Senior Bowl.
I actually like Proctor. I think, again, he's another guy who's limited with coverage, but he can be a special team player, and he can be in box safety, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, the Chiefs getting Amani Bailey. That's one of the names that stood out to me. Carson Steele, so 2 running backs right there. Reggie Brown from James Madison, really good receiver there. I don't know if he's related to the other Reggie Brown from the Eagles. Curious. I don't think he is, but
I don't know that.
Let's see. I'm looking around real quick. He's related to Hollywood Brown.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense then. Okay. Frank family. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Who else the Chiefs have? That's all I know there. Let's go with I'm still checking. Oh, Spencer Sandler. They got the quarterback Spencer Sandler. He was actually a mini camp invite, so solid guy. Let's see who else. The Raiders. Let's see. They got anybody I know? Not particularly. Not sure who these names guys are. Guys, I gotta remember there's a lot of players in college that comes out and get drafted or undrafted. So there's gonna be a lot of names we don't know just based on just too many players. Chargers, let's see if they got anybody I know as an undrafted guy. That's another one. I don't really know any undrafted guys. So, Rams. The Rams. Let's see. Rams had a really good defensive line draft. Omar Spaeth from LSU.
They did. The Rams had a good draft, and they really addressed their defensive line to try to add some depth. So.
Yeah, for sure. Josh Wallace from Michigan. Okay, guy. He's okay. All right, there. All right, now we're with the Dolphins, Ray. So you want to kind of run through who you got? Oh, you got Hayden Roos. Okay, we interviewed him. Okay.
I mean, I like Andrew Mayer, the offensive lineman they signed from UTEP. I think he's a good, solid, like a nice guy that hopefully you can develop into at least a backup type player. I like Storm Duck, the defensive back from Louisville. I think he's a good, versatile player.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just looking at guys like I don't want to just give you everybody that's here. I just want to give you guys that Grayson Murphy, the edge from UCLA, has some upside. Big kid with some decent game film. 30 guys that really I like that Miami got as undrafted free agents. There's a bunch of guys that I think Matthew Jones from Ohio State. I mean, I know he didn't play a lot there, but he's still a guy from a big school, so we'll see if we get any value out of him. I really like the Storm Duck pick, though. That's my favorite, and Andrew Mayer. Basically, because they're Storm Duck, I think, could be a nice safety for you, maybe. He's a good tackler. And I like Mike Andrew Mayer because, again, interior offensive lineman, which is a position I kind of need depth at. And at least they got him.
Definitely. Yeah, I like some of you guys, man. Got some good guys there. All right, going to the Vikings. They got Doug Nestor, an interview we interviewed some years ago when he was in high school. So that's one guy I know. Outside of that, not really sure. Devon Harper, actually, the Mercer guy. LaMarcus actually knows who he is. So he knows more about him. But he's an undrafted guy. I think he has some off the field issues, which made him not get drafted. So skills wise, I heard he's pretty good. So we'll see. As far as the Patriots, I don't think they have anybody I know that they drafted. Oh, Charles Turner from LSU, the center. I do know him. That's a good player.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Good undrafted guy. Let's see. Saints. Dylan Holker. I'll be honest. I didn't know who he was to the combine, but when he made that one-handed catch, definitely was a big eye opener and see how he did. He looked pretty well, so see how he does. Might be one of those not really wow you every time kind of guy, but a guy that might just make those big plays here and there. So New York Giants. Nobody really there, I know. As for the Jets, now they picked a quarterback named Pee Wee. Interesting. Don't know anything about him, but just seeing his name, Pee Wee. Let's see. Braden McGregor, interviewee that we got at the Senior Bowl. Solid edge rusher, needs to a little stiff. Would like to see him kind of have a little bit of bend. So, solid guy there. All right. Let's see. Philadelphia Eagles. Kendall Milton from the running back from Georgia got a chance to show some stuff. I don't know if he's gonna make the roster. Just looking at our running backs that we have, but really good guy. Maybe a practice squad guy can do well. I'll say the best in this. I'm trying not to be biased about this, but this might be my favorite UDFA. Gabe Hall from Baylor. Got to see him at the Senior Bowl. Very surprised that he didn't get drafted right. Very, very surprised. What you know about Gabe Hall? You got any intel on Gabe Hall, Ray?
I like him. I think he should have been. I thought he was going to be a draftable player. I'm a little surprised he didn't get drafted, but again, it's a deep, deep draft, and there's a lot of guys that really fell out of the draft. I thought there was a lot of guys that just fell in the lower rounds and then out of the draft completely.
Correct. Definitely. No, I agree, Ray. All right, Pittsburgh Steelers got a couple of guys that I know. Quarterback John Rhines Plumlee from Central Florida. Solid guy. Moved around the college schools a couple of times. He got injured, which caused him to leave. Yeah, lost his job.
Yeah.
Injured, lost his job, and then switched to Central Florida. So, solid quarterback. We'll see how he does. Dijon Edwards from Georgia, another Georgia running back. He split time with Milton. Solid guy. I actually thought he was the better of the two running backs, but they did split a lot of time. So I think that's why, he didn't get a real beat on how they were individually. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, also Jerome, you got to, again, it's a position. Running back's ball, So
100%. Jacoby Winneman, a guy that I heard about playing at Michigan, very nasty street guy. I think if I'm not mistaken, he was the one that punched one of the Michigan guys. I'm not 100% sure. That might be why he fell. He got talent though. He's just kind of a nasty player. I mean, you might want that in the guy, but yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. 49ers, Tanner Malachi, McCarty.
McCarty.
Yeah, there you go. From Wisconsin, solid quarterback. Corey Schrager is actually, I was surprised that he didn't get drafted. A really good, versatile running back out of Missouri. Looked really well at the Senior Bowl. Surprised that he didn't get drafted. Drake Nugent, center from Michigan, is a solid guy. So 49ers got some solid guys from the fantasy right there. Seahawks, let's see. Nobody that I see here. They got a lot of drafted guys though. Buccaneers, let's see. Not seeing anybody on there I know either. The Titans. Let's see, Titans. Not sure here either. Keaton Ellis from Penn State. He's okay. Secondary for the Penn State was kind of shaky last year anyway, so I think that kind of.
It was. They got torched a little bit.
Yeah. And then last but not least, the Commanders. Sam Hartman, a quarterback that we interviewed at the Senior Bowl as well. They got him. You know about him, right? He was looking really good the year before he went to Notre Dame. Came to Notre Dame, struggled. You only played for them for 1 year, and sometimes team will do that to you if you start switching up your scheme and go to a different team. So what's your take on that, Roy? I know you know
think that for some reason he went from being a gunslinger to being a system player who wasn't comfortable in the system they were playing him in.
Yeah, especially down the stretch. It kind of...
He was inaccurate at times. You could depend on his running ability, which was always there, but his inaccuracy was a problem. And he's a good. He seems like a really good guy that guys want to follow, but they didn't play consistently when he was back there. So I mean, I'm not going to blame him again. He never really seemed to get comfortable in what Notre Dame was trying to do on offense, and maybe he's not completely to blame because their offense was a mess at times last year. So.
Yeah. I think he should have been drafted just based on his hair.
I know a lot of girls feel the same way.
Oh man. And then Marcus Rosemy St. Jack played really well at the Senior Bowl actually. I wasn't high on him when he was in Georgia. Got on my radar a little bit when he did go to the Senior Bowl. Solid guy.
I didn't think. I thought he was going to be a seventh round UDFA guy, but again, played at a big school. Let's see if we can get him in and get him developed and see if we can get something out of him. Again, man, when I draft in these lower rounds, I'm looking for either upside or guys that have played at a high level somewhere.
No, I agree. So we'll definitely see, man. A lot of free agents. Good luck to all of them. Rookie mini camps are pretty much over now. They're getting ready for OTAs right now. So looking forward to see everybody play and hope everybody plays well. Obviously, that's not the reality of it. But, man, love to see, especially the DFAs. I love to see them kind of emerge, come to camp, play really well and solidify themselves in the NFL, take that what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say hatred, but take that chip on the shoulder, that hey, I didn't get drafted. I'm gonna bust my to get in this league and show, hey, I belong.
I agree. And the thing is, what choice do you have though?
Yeah.
I mean, either you come in and you show out, or you're out of the league. I mean, like
Right. No, you're right.
you really don't have much of a choice if you want to be an NFL player. So.
Yeah, 100%. But that's gonna do it for us today, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching this. I hope y'all enjoyed. Once again, we are powered by Phenom, as you see right there. Make sure you hit that promo code right up there, and you can get 10% off of all Phenom items. So you can do that, save you some cash. So make sure you do that. Get you some gloves, get you some, visors, get you ready for the season, so you can become one of these players that are getting drafted in the NFL. Great gear will definitely help you out, make you look good, make you feel good, and then you can be out there and playing well. So that's good.
Look good, play good, right?
There you go. So also make sure you hit that QR code. I got one right behind me. Ray has one right below him. Scan that QR code. That follow us on all the social media that does support us. Make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube, particularly. We're trying to get those YouTube numbers up, so if you can definitely help us out, we're there. We appreciate it. I also want to do a special shout out to everybody on Twitter. Thank you guys so much. We are at over 10,000 right now on Twitter, so we do definitely appreciate that. Without you guys' support, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing right now and be able to get these sponsors and things like that. So we definitely appreciate that. If you could just help us share, like, and everything on YouTube as well. So if you're on Twitter right now, you're watching right now, please head over to YouTube and like and subscribe on there. We got 3 different podcasts. We got plenty of highlights and player interviews that we post on there as well as we try to keep we try to keep you guys in the loop. So if there is anything that you want to talk about on the podcast that you wasn't able to watch now or you need to watch later, or if you are watching now but you're on Twitter and you didn't know that you can comment, so you can't comment on Twitter, but you can go on YouTube, you put a comment on there, we comment back to YouTube all the time. Don't let Ray be the only one commenting on our videos, man. Ray, I do see all your comments. So make sure you guys do that, and we appreciate you guys for sure. So I'm Jerome Jones. That's Ray Brown.
I will say this: if you're a Ravens fan, you might want to go on there and contradict what I say sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. He do be getting on the Ravens fans for sure, especially Coach. So we got 3 different podcasts, so make sure you all check all 3 of them out, man. Do some great stuff. I appreciate you guys so much, and we see you on the next one. Peace.